The crisis in Venezuela reaching a new boiling point. Thousands of protesters rioting in the streets after hundreds of protesters were arrested and secretly tried in military court for rebellion and insulting authorities. Things that the press corps here does every single day. This being the latest development leading the country closer to civil war. Joining me now, former intelligence analyst Morgan Ortagus and political analyst Gina Loudon. Morgan, I'll start with you. So the actual charges for these people, the actual charges were rebellion and insulting authority. These regimes are repressive. Socialism isn't about giving things away to people. It's about taking away rights. Am I right?
You're absolutely right, Jerry. And what's also important to note is the people that are being arrested in Venezuela for protesting are not going to civilian courts. Many of them are actually being taken to military courts, which is, of course, is not in compliance with the Constitution. Of course, this is not in compliance with human rights to take people who are protesting because they're starving to death in Venezuela and then being taken to military courts. Something else, Jerry, that I think is really important to note as well, that the Venezuelans are getting assistance from, guess who? The Russians and the Cubans. We have to remember that Venezuela is a part of this, is a communist country, is a part of this evil nexus with Russia, with Iran, with Cuba, with people who have fundamentally different ideals than what we have as Americans. It's been reported that Russians are sending sophisticated fighters over to Venezuela, and the Cubans are, of course, working hand in glove with the Maduro regime to continue to oppress these people. It's a really sad state of affairs, and it's something that the world needs to look to.
You know, that society is simply falling apart, and we're showing pictures right now. You can see what's been going on there. It's frightening. And Gina, you know, I think it's so interesting that socialist countries, they turn into autocratic and repressive regimes. You look at what's going on in Venezuela, what happened in Cuba, it happens over and over again. What is it about the hard left that makes it so tough to be open, fair to people?
Because power is addictive, and they sell this false idea of a utopia to people. People have fallen for it for centuries, of course. We know that. The state of California is still falling for it. And Jerry, I'd submit to you that if given their own druthers and California were left to secede from the Union like they talk about, they'd be like Venezuela within a couple of years. Because this idea of, don't forget too, Venezuela voted for this. They voted for this. Imagine the buyer's remorse when now the average Venezuelan has lost 19 pounds in the last year, when infant and maternal mortality rates are through the roof,
and let's get to that, because I want to show some of these numbers right now, Gina. You know, we talk about society coming apart at the seams, and you mentioned the starvation. Well, guess what? Another Venezuelan crisis, President Maduro firing the health minister after newly released data showed maternal and infant deaths skyrocketing 66% and 30% respectively. Gina, go ahead. Give me your reaction to this. This is astonishing.
Well, this should be a huge wake-up call to the socialists in America right now, that these are the byproducts of what they're fighting for. Take note, Bernie Sanders. Take note, Governor Brown. Take note, Democrats who've gone so far left and are so sold on universalized everything that this is a really bad idea. And here's more proof of it.
More proof of it. Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on tonight. Great job. A tough story. You did a great job explaining it. Thank you.